The NBA market is moving, and once again, every rumor needs to be viewed through one lens. What does this mean for the Boston Celtics? While other franchises scramble to fix structural problems on the wing, the Celtics remain attentive, strategic, and ready to strike if the right opportunity appeared. And now, a name quietly gaining traction in league circles forces an urgent question. Could Ousmane Dieng become a Boston Celtic? Before we go deeper, if you care about Boston Celtics news in real time, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and press the hype button right now, because what is developing around this possible Ousmane Dieng negotiation could impact Boston's rotation sooner than people expect. Across the league, teams have struggled to find consistent two-way wing. That scarcity drives value. It also creates opportunity for a franchise like the Boston Celtics, a team built on versatility, length, and defensive accountability. Dieng, at 22 years old, fits the modern profile: size, mobility, defensive tools, and flashes of perimeter shooting. He has bounced through multiple organizations since being selected in the 2022 NBA Draft, raising questions about consistency, but talent has never been the issue. In limited extended minutes this season, Dieng showed measurable growth. He delivered 19 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 4 blocks in a breakout performance that forced executives to take notice. Those numbers are not empty. They reflect impact on both ends of the floor. That is exactly the archetype the Boston Celtics value when constructing playoff rotation. Financially, this is where it becomes interesting. Dieng remains on a rookie-scale structure, meaning Boston would not need to sacrifice core salary pillars to explore a move. The Celtics front office, led by Brad Stevens, has consistently targeted undervalued assets who can grow within the system. Think about the pattern: length, defensive upside, offensive development within structure. Dieng checks those developmental boxes. But here is the tension. Boston is not desperate. The Celtics are competing at the top of the Eastern Conference. Any negotiation must improve championship probability, not simply add depth. That raises the leverage question. Would the price be future second-round draft capital? Would it require a young rotational piece? Or is this a calculated buy low scenario that Boston can control? The urgency is real because two-way wings rarely remain attainable once they stabilize production. If the Celtics believe Dieng's recent performances signal sustainable growth rather than a short spike, waiting could cost significantly more in both draft assets and salary flexibility. So here we are, a 22-year-old wing with defensive disruption, improving shooting mechanic, and controlled contract structure. A Boston Celtics organization always scanning for the next undervalued difference maker. The window to act may not stay open long. And now the real question every Celtics fan should be asked: if Ousmane Dieng becomes available at the right price, can Boston afford not to make the call? The offseason is approaching, and every movement around the league must be analyzed through one priority: what puts the Boston Celtics closer to another champion, while the Los Angeles Lakers prepare for a possible roster overhaul with roughly $50 million in cap space and multiple free agents. One name quietly becomes relevant for Boston: Rui Hachimura. Hachimura has averaged 13 points and 4.4 rebounds since arriving in Los Angeles, shooting an efficient 42.1% from 3 on nearly 4 attempts per game. Those are not empty numbers. That is reliable floor spacing from the forward position. For a team like the Boston Celtics, built around elite shot creation and ball movement, that skill set matters. Let us be clear, Boston is not chasing headline. The Celtics are protecting a championship window. Every potential addition must complement Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, strengthen playoff versatility, and preserve financial flexibility. Hachimura is earning around $18.2 million this season. In free agency, projections suggest he could command something near the mid-level exception, approximately $15 million annually. That price point changes the conversation. Here is where it becomes strategic. Boston values size, switchability, and shooting at the forward spots. Hachimura, at 26 years old, fits that timeline. He can play as a scoring four, stretch the floor, and survive defensively within a structured system. Surrounded by the Celtics' defensive identity, his efficiency could rise even further. The question is not whether he can produce. The question is whether Boston believes he elevates their second unit scoring high-leverage playoff minutes. This is where urgency enters. If the Lakers pivot and decide not to retain him, multiple contenders will inquire. Wings who shoot above 40% from 3 do not stay available for long. And if Boston waits, The market could move quickly. The Celtics front office has shown patience before striking. They rarely chase, they calculate. But this situation demands attention. A controlled contract, playoff experience, offensive efficiency, and positional flexibility. All boxes that matter in June. So here is the question that cannot be ignored. If Rui Hachimura becomes attainable at a manageable number this summer, will the Boston Celtics move decisively to secure another scoring forward? Or risk watching a direct competitor strengthen while Boston stands still? The NBA offseason is approaching, and one question is beginning to circulate quietly in executive circle. What if LeBron James does not stay in Los Angeles? And more important, what if the Boston Celtics position themselves as the destination? Before we go any further, understand the magnitude of what we are discussing. LeBron James, four-time champion, 22-time All-Star, still averaging 21.8 points, 6.9 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game at 41 years old. He shot over 50% from the field this season. That is not nostalgia production, that is impact production. For the Boston Celtics, this is not about headline, this is about championships. Boston has built a roster capable of competing deep into June. But adding LeBron James as a free agent would not simply be a rotation move. It would be a historic power shift in the Eastern Conference. Financially, this would require precision. LeBron earned over $47 million this season. Any pathway would demand cap maneuvering, structured contract, and clear alignment from the front office. But here is the reality. When a player of this caliber becomes even remotely attainable, contenders do not ignore the opportunity. They evaluate, aggressive. Imagine the basketball. LeBron operating as a primary decision maker alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Secondary playmaking elevated. Half-court efficiency improved. Late-game execution stabilized by one of the greatest basketball minds ever. Even at 41, his IQ alone changes playoff series. There is also urgency. Boston's championship window is open right now. Windows in this league close faster than expected. Adding a veteran superstar who still produces at an elite level could extend dominance and reduce postseason volatility. Critics will question defense, long-term flexibility. Those are valid considerations, but championships are not won by playing safe. They are won by calculated boldness. So here is the escalating reality. If LeBron James truly evaluates his options in free agency, and if the Boston Celtics can create the financial path to make it viable, are they prepared to make the most shocking move in modern franchise history? If you want non-stop Boston Celtics coverage and updates on this developing situation, hit like, subscribe right now, and press the hype button. Because if this becomes real, you will want to say you saw it coming first.